The devil has no new tools on his belt. He's got 3. And he takes all of us down regularly with one of those 3. Right? If the gold doesn't get you anymore, money is now under my feet and is my servant. Then what about the guys? What about the gals? Well, let's say you graduate and now you are no longer lustful. Good. Now you get prideful. You look at the other people and go, look at those people in love with money and sex. Look at how inferior they are to me. Ah! He's got you. Glory, pride. See? So the devil has money, sex, and power. He has gold, gals, and glory. He has no new tools, only 3. And if you can realize God in our lives is trying to bring us to a place where he can burn that dross out of us, where we are having a passion only for him, a desire only for his will. And did you know what? Then life becomes a little bit more joyful and a little bit more liberating when we don't have gold, gals, and glory attached to us all the time. See, if you know what to look for, the 3 G's, then when you see them, you say, there it is. There's the gold. There's the gold. I'm not going to fall for that one. There are the girls. Not going to fall from that one. There's the glory. Don't want to get prideful. No. Jesus, help me. Well, Abraham started simple at a little unhewn altar. A few stones pushed together. But he went to Egypt and he saw the Great Pyramid and he saw the palaces of pleasure. And did you know he had some different experiences there? And in Egypt he went into sin. He fell into great sin. But the Bible says he returned. God brought him full circle back to the simplicity of his first worship. Boy, Abraham looked like he'd been dragged through a knothole backwards. He came back from Egypt, and some of you have just come back from Egypt. That means the world. And you've been through a season of sin, gold, gals, and glory, or gold, guys, and glory, and you haven't met your needs, and you're tired, and you return to that simple, blood-stained, unhewn altar of simplicity and worship, and you find God again. You come around full circle. Is God bringing anyone full circle? He is. Be encouraged. He knows where you are on the map of the mall of his sovereign plan. He knows where you are. You haven't gone off the grid. You may be off in Midian somewhere with sheep, but he knows exactly where you are, and his design is to bring you full circle to your destiny, full circle to radical obedience, and full circle to the simplicity of worship. I think Abraham was happy to get back to that simple altar. Enough flashy pyramids, enough of the Pharaoh's palaces, enough of the exotic. Icing is great, but you can't live on icing. I'm in the new icing diet. No. If you just eat icing all the time, can you, cotton candy's fun at the fair, but can you live on cotton candy? I'd like some cotton candy salad, some cotton candy entree, and some cotton candy. It dissolves in your mouth with the using. It has no nutritional content, and you can't live on that. And so God will take you out of the pleasures of Egypt and bring you full circle like he did, altar to altar. He brought Abraham out of simplicity into complexity, back to simplicity. He's bringing you full circle. The next example is Isaac. Abraham's son Isaac was a well digger. And you read his story in Genesis chapter 26, and here's the point I want to make about Isaac. Isaac learned a very full circle blessing and a full circle truth. He was a well digger who would dig wells, and the enemies of his day contested his right to dig wells, and he kept giving up his wells to the enemy. Sometimes you have to know what battlefield to die on. Sometimes it's best to lose a battle in order to win the war in the long run. And Isaac built a very unique well in the book of Genesis. And it was a well that he built at Beersheba in Genesis 26, 32, and 33. And it was a well where he made peace with his enemies. In Isaac's life, he had many enemies. And did you know if you're successful, people will envy you? And if you're remotely perceived as being prettier than someone, or more handsome than someone, or more talented than someone, people will envy you. Isaac was the object of envy. He had many enemies. But did you know God at the end of Isaac's life brought him full circle in his well digging and brought him to one well, the final well he dug. And at that well, all of his enemies came to him, and he made peace with his enemies. Did you know God's bringing some of us to full circle forgiveness? God may call you to forgive your enemies. He may take someone out of your life for years and bring you full circle back into their life, and they're going to confront you very soon. And instead of hating them, and instead of averting your eyes and walking the other way, maybe it's time to forgive them. Isaac's enemies came to him and said, you know what? We saw God was with you. We persecuted you. And Isaac was gracious enough to make a covenant with them and dig a well at Beersheba and forgive them. God's bringing some of you full circle forgiveness. See, the pipes have been clogged because you've had unforgiveness in your heart. Think of whoever it is you wouldn't want to run into when you walk out this door today. Whoever they are. You walk out the door to go to the bathroom after this glorious church service and this message that has transformed your life. And you meet who? Okay? You probably need a full circle act of forgiveness there. Because, unforgiveness chains you. Unforgiveness has you drinking poison. It's like an idiot drinking poison going, that'll show him. I'll show him. I'll show them. See, unforgiveness is you drinking poison to show them. Guess what? Bad news. They don't care about you. They're not thinking about you. They've forgotten all about you in most cases. You're poisoning yourself by holding unforgiveness. Isaac came full circle, well to well. He dug many wells, but the last well he dug was surrounding the forgiveness of his enemies. So God may be bringing us into full circle forgiveness, and we have to be sensitive to that. So Moses, Egypt to Egypt, he brought him to a full circle destiny. Joshua, gate to gate, he brought him full circle to radical obedience, to obey something that looked crazy. And Abraham, altar to altar, he brought him full circle with regard to his simplicity of worship. And God sometimes just brings us back to the simple things. And Isaac, well to well, he had to face the fact that it was time to forgive his enemies. When you forgive someone, you release the debt. You simply say, you know what? God forgave all my sins because I asked him. I'm not going to hold a $20 hurt against you. You hurt me, you probably meant to, but you know what? I'm releasing you and you don't have to pay for it, and I'm not going to move away from you. God bless you. God bless your life. You can wish somebody well without having them be your roommate. Loving people and trusting people are two different things. You're commanded to love. That means to wish the good of another. You can will the good of your enemy, but you don't have to pay rent with him and move in and do business with him. See, love and trust are two different things. Trust implies a developed relationship over time. Once there's a breach of trust, you can't just forgive that in a minute. By that I mean you can love someone and will good for them, but trust takes time. That's a different category. If you breach trust, you have to rebuild trust. Sometimes it can never be done. So you can't be commanded to trust somebody. The Bible doesn't command you to trust anybody, it commands you to love everybody. So you can wish the good of another, even the good of your enemy. You don't need to give them your checkbook if they embezzled funds from you. You don't need to invite them in to be your roommate if they're going to stab you in the back. But you can, from a distance sometimes, wish the good of another. And in your prayers, will the good of another. But that doesn't mean that you got to be best buds. You see the distinction? Christians get confused between love and trust. See, if you embezzle, let's play fantasy. Let's say I had $1 million, fantasy. But let's say you stole $1 million from me. Now, as a Christian, I'm commanded to love you and wish your good, but I'm never commanded anywhere in the Bible to give you my checkbook again. Trust and love are two different things. You can love some people you don't trust as far as you throw them. And you can trust some people you don't even love. Two different things. And did you know the foundation of every relationship is what? Love? No, it's trust. Trust is the foundation stone of every relationship. Love follows trust. Think about it. Think about it. I love you, baby. Well, I love to love you, baby. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can love somebody and not trust them as far as you can throw them. So notice in this case with Isaac, he came full circle and he had to choose to forgive his enemies. Well, Isaac had a relative, and his name was Jacob. And the next guy that we see in a full circle blessing is Jacob, Bethel to Bethel. This represents, Jacob was called by God at a place called Bethel. Just happens to be the name of our church.